Hello everyone, we are Wong Village, and today we are going to answer all of your 75 questions regarding our series or whatever that you have raised. So here today with me is Thatcher, as always, and by the way, I'm Dieter.
Hi.
Yes, so that's Thatcher, and today we are going to answer some of your questions. We are blown away by how many questions we've received from all of you and how some of the questions are actually very interesting. So we have divided the questions into four categories or sections. First is about our channel, and then the official show. Then there's some personal questions. And then last, we have this special streamlined section where it's some very short question, either because it's very easy to answer or we would like to just give a very short response based on the first thing that comes into our mind. So I think that's settled. And please do
Maybe
not,
let's.
please do not be disappointed if your question did not get chosen because we have lots of questions, and this time we are limiting it to only 75 for the 75th anniversary of the Railway series. So I think that's it. Maybe we should start.
Yeah, let's start the questions now. So the first part is about our channel. What inspired you to make a channel?
So I think Thatcher, you can go first.
I think that I was inspired with some other Thomas YouTubers on YouTube, and I was thinking, whether I could basically like have a creation of myself as well. So, but I think I could not do it on my own. I need a lot of help. So I'm really glad that my dad and my friend Dieter, they helped me a lot, and we started our channel like that. How
Yeah,
about
I think my situation or experience is quite similar to yours. But funny enough, it's not actually Playrel or Thomas YouTubers that got me inspired to make the channel, but instead some of the G-scale garden railway, Bachman G-scale, large scale, Thomas and Friends YouTubers that got me inspired to make videos in general. And then after shooting a few, I definitely find that I need some help. So similarly, I got to Thatcher and we made a great team together and make the channel to share videos to all of you.
Okay, next question. What was your first video and why is it that? So our first video was actually our first episode of our season 1, and it was the sound of lady.
Yeah.
And it was like that because I think we decided to film it first, and it was on my birthday, I remember.
Yeah, we filmed it on Thatcher's birthday and edited in 3 days after it. And so that's why the anniversary of Wong Village is on the 5th of February. Little fun fact that I don't think we've shared before.
Yeah, so maybe let's move on. Who mostly own the channel? I think there really is no such thing as like who owns more the channel.
Definitely, it's an equal share of work. Thatcher's more in charge of the
Turnover.
pre-production, for example, like the uh, story writing and stuff, brainstorming. I'm and also filming. Sometimes, or most of the time, he comes over to my home and we film together. And while I'm mostly in charge in the post-production, like editing or maybe making posts, but I'm most active, I think, on Twitter, while Thatcher is in charge of the IG, the Instagram accounts, and Facebook page.
Yeah.
So it's a split
Yeah,
of
it's
duty.
so basically between us there is basically no such thing like a boss or maybe versus a worker. So it's basically equal. I think you can say it like that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. What is your favorite episode of your series? Wow. Perhaps Dieter, you may want to answer that first.
Um, it's quite a difficult question, but I think we can say it's definitely not the earliest episodes because we definitely have improved a lot, and those are not quite up to modern standards. I think the international finale was great fun to make, great fun to edit, and it includes a lot of custom that I made, so it's quite good. I think Murdoch's Unlucky Day is actually very exciting as well and good fun to film because there's a lot of crash. Oh, another fun fact, I think Murdoch's Lucky Day, which is written by Thatcher, is actually the first story written instead of Sound of Lady. Am I right?
Yeah. That was
Yeah, I think that's it.
So
what is your favorite Thatcher?
my favorite episode, I think. I think it is not the one in season 1 because I think those written in season 2 are slightly better and a bit more
A
interesting.
lot better.
Huh?
A lot better.
I think that they are better, and I really liked the idea that I came up with an episode featuring the pack as well as the experimental engines. So for that episode and the title, remember to stay tuned to our channel, and we'll release more news in the future very soon.
Yeah, I think season 2 is definitely going to be a lot better than season 1. We filmed, I think, most of it already, but I just haven't got the time or the motivation, mostly, to edit them all. And yeah, I think maybe the videos that we've made up to now, among them, I don't think my favorite video is actually from the episodes from our series. That's quite funny, but I think that answers your question, JP Linear. So, Aaron, yeah, definitely.
Okay. The next question is, what was your favorite custom? Customs are mainly made by Peter. I guess he can answer that more clearly.
What about you? What was your favorite custom that was made by me?
I like
the third person view.
If you ask me, the mountain engines, they were really great. Yeah, I mean, if you look at those engines clearly, you could see that Dieter, they put some variation between different engines apart from maybe like making from a Freddie or a Duncan. Perhaps one has a sharper dome, the one has a round dome, or maybe the other one has a longer lining, or maybe shorter lining, or maybe some different colors. If you rewatch it, you will see some variations between the engine. So I think that he did put a lot of effort into making the Culdee Fell customs.
Yeah, I did. And I think regarding the question, favorite custom, there's a lot actually, and it depends on different factors because I make those customs. So whether or not I actually had fun making it also plays a role in whether or not I like the custom. I think to name a few, definitely the mountain engines is a lot of work and a lot of fun to make, and I'm quite happy with how it turned out, both in person and in the special. But I think some other worthy candidates would be Ashima, although player or Trackmaster did make an Ashima at last. But I think the custom Ashima is great fun to make because so many details or so many dots. I actually use pens more than paintbrush or spray painting for Ashima, so that's quite special. And Red Rosie, I actually like that a lot. It's not a super complicated custom, but I like it. She kind of has the charm. So yeah, to name a few, I think those are some of my favorites. But of course, there's the iconic Yongbao and a lot of other like Hong Mei. I actually like a lot of the customs, and it's very hard to come up with only one favorite.
Okay, next question. How many creators have you worked with? I never actually counted them, but quite a number of them, I think.
Yeah, I think even only counting the TCC, although we haven't actually worked particularly with all of them, but within the TCC team, there are already a lot of creators that we've worked with. But I think, within our channel, we've also worked with some other creators, no matter in forms of live streams or actually collaborations on videos or projects. Oh, also, we have a lot of voice actors. So if that counts towards working with creators, I think that includes a lot and a lot of very talented voice actors as well.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe let's move on.
Yeah.
How long does it take to make a video in general? It depends.
Maybe we actually talk about the script writing process while I'll add on the video editing.
So if you say that maybe I start by talking a review video first because those are actually relatively a lot more easier to make and they require less editing. So perhaps I think those videos, they will be done in around about 10 to 15 minutes for the filming, and literally I do not really edit them. And as for writing episodes, it may take once I have the idea, or maybe it will take about 1 or 2 days to finish the script, as well as proofreading it, and then we'll just film it. Yeah, but the problem is we do not really film that frequently, so perhaps maybe after I've written the episode this month, then we may actually film it maybe during the summer or even Christmas. So
or maybe next year. It really depends. And video editing, it also definitely depends on the first, how much time I have. Secondly, how much motivation I have. And thirdly, how complicated the video is. And it really depends because, of course, the review does not require a lot of editing. It just cut out some parts and then put some music in, and that's it. But if you talk about some more complicated videos, like episodes, which includes a lot of voice actors, and that also adds on to the time. And it also depends on how many individual shots there is. For example, the lady video, the Christmas lady video, also has no voice actor, only sound effect and music. But it also took a lot of time because the shots are very complicated and the whole video is quite sophisticated, so it takes time. And another example that I'm working on right now is the Culdee Fell behind the scenes video. And it took a lot of time because there's the voiceover from me and Thatcher that I need to edit together. And there's some footage I need to compile those that is from the special itself, and some behind the scenes footage and some footage that's shot especially for the video. So yeah, I don't want to go on about that so long because I think yeah. Stay tuned for the behind the scenes. But yeah, it really depends in short.
So let's move on. Why did you create the Lady Christmas video? What is the thought or message behind? So this idea was actually started by Dieter, so I think you can answer this.
Yeah, I would answer that. And funny enough, I just brought it out from the question that I've just answered. Why did I create it? Because definitely inspired by the real life events of the discovery of the large scale, the life-size lady prop. And I would like to kind of link up the fictional story of Thomas and Magic Railroad and what follows, and link it up with the real life events of the discovery or rediscovery of the lady prop. So that is basically why and the thoughts behind. And the message is, it doesn't really have a message. It just looks and sounds good, and it's quite sad. It's a sad story actually. So it's sad story of lady. Yeah. So basically, I just want to link up the story and the real life events. And funny enough, it is one of the videos that is constantly getting replies or comments. So I'm so glad you all liked it so much. I personally liked it a lot, no matter it's the thought process or the filming process. So I'm glad you all liked it.
Okay, so let's move on to the next question. What did you use to make the faces? So
I guess that's another question for me.
Perhaps maybe you can start talking about those in the old times where do you remember like you used to cover a face on top of the toy face?
Yeah. We had a pack of clay that I've pre-mixed in gray so as to match the engine's face, and then we just slap it on, try to smooth out the corner, and then use our fingernails or fingers or whatever tool to kind of make an indentation to resemble the face. An example would be, the first thing that comes to mind is Gordon Goes Foreign. I don't know why that video, but yeah, we did that in that video for, I think, Gordon and Duck or some other things like that. So that is how we change emotions. But we don't do that anymore because firstly, it's very messy. Secondly, it doesn't look extremely good on the camera. So what we do now is basically either we create different faces that we remove and replace, kind of like the model series, or we just leave it. So for the Culdee Fell railway, the Culdee Fell video or the special, you see, we just leave it. Sometimes they're sad, but Culdee smiling. It kind of takes away the authenticity, but I think it's better than, crappy faces. And I think, yeah, you all would understand. But in terms of really making the faces, like the Culdee Fell, we use clay and carving tool. I've once shared a behind the scenes video, behind the scenes photo of how I use only my pinky fingernail to plug into the face of Patrick, I think. Yeah, and basically Patrick's face is just two eyes with my fingernail plugged into it for the sad face or the angry face. So yeah, we just use clay basically. Not very complicated stuff.
Okay, next question. What do you use for filming and editing? So, Dita has is it a video recorder for
Yeah.
when we do the episodes? But if you ask me, once I do the reviews, I'm actually only using my phone.
Yeah. And I think you once used your camera, right, for the Trackmaster Park, the 20 something.
The camera
at your home.
actually films by using a GoPro.
Oh yeah. Yeah, basically that. And editing, we use the computer or the laptop, of course, but my computer is acting up, so recently I've moved to my laptop. And in terms of software, we've used Video Studio Pro before, but as I've mentioned, the desktop is acting up. So now on the laptop, I'm using, what's it called? Let me see. DaVinci Resolve. Yeah, we're using that, a free software. I think that's the job, but it kind of messes up the frame rate, or yeah, it is strange, and I still haven't found out a way to figure it out how to improve its quality. But I will eventually before I start editing season 2.
Well, as for me, if you watch the Trackmaster Park video, part of the footage was actually edited by me, and I actually used the Final Cut Pro to edit the video. So if you check our channel, that I once uploaded a non-Thomas video about me going to a concert. Actually, the entire video was edited by Final Cut Pro. So remember to check that out. Okay.
Did you pay for Final Cut Pro? Isn't it a paid software?
I forgot already. I think.
Okay.
Yes. Or maybe you can check it yourself first.
Okay. Next question.
So next question. What advice would you give to a starting user? So perhaps I'll start first. My advice is actually you need time and also courage to do your work, because I will not still consider myself maybe a big YouTuber, but
not.
Yeah. Even though to some of you it may seem big, but I think everything just builds up from a really small step. As we just making a few steps, I mean, getting a lot more subscribers or maybe getting more views, they require time, because time is actually a really important factor, I think.
Yeah, I think be patient is what Thatcher is trying to say, and it's very important. It takes time, be patient, and make good quality content, and people would find you, would like you, and you start to grow. Well, we are not that kind of top train yet, and we are not aiming at being so. We just want to make quality content. So in terms of making content,
afterwards, I definitely would say that.
Yeah, in terms of making content, I was like more on the technical side. Find a good video camera, develop or establish your own style, and find good lighting. Yes, because if you look at our older videos, the lighting is terrible and everything's very dark. Sometimes I try to edit it in post-production, and it creates noise or damage. Yeah, things like that. So definitely find good lighting. If you look at the screen right now, there's two very great, very big lighting panels. So that's what you need to make videos look crisp and clean in general. Yeah, so that's more on the technical side.
I think I will also add something that you should never lose hope, and do not ever get frustrated, okay? That is
Just
so
enjoy your time here. You're here to enjoy, not to grow.
you're
So
here to create your
yeah,
own stuff. It's your world.
find your friends, create your own world, and make quality content, and leave everything else to decide for yourself.
Okay. So next question. About how long does it take to make customs? So Dieter should answer that, I think.
Yes, another question for me. Um, Also, it depends on those factors: time, motivation, and how complicated it is. So, I think one of the longest custom that I've spent time is definitely the whole Culdee Fell Mountain Railway gang. Because I want to make it high quality, I have to wait for everything to dry completely before I start the next step. So I think that's it. Was it the quickest custom? I think I've done it in within 2 or 3 days, although the quality is not very high. Example being the Great Race customs like Axle. Uh, who else did I make? Thatcher.
Apart from
Very
the
forgettable
that
character.
you make some other maybe like Derek and Fergus, I think.
Rao, yeah. Rao, Ivan, and Axel. Yeah, those forgettable characters from the Great Race. Yeah, I make those real quick. Of course, they're not at the very high quality. Those are old customs, but I've made them within 2 or 3 days each, and I have to go to school. So every day I finish school, I get home and make the custom, and then basically very little time. So it depends on the quality of the how complicated everything is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think basically that.
And previously, the customs were made by paper, I remember.
Yeah, the first three customs that I've made at first is Winston, Derek, and Sydney, and all of them are, paper or I didn't even paint the cardboard. I just stick blue paper or green paper onto cardboard. So that's not something I would like to share again. But the videos are still on our channel, so you can still check it out. But yeah, kind of a dark history.
Okay. Next, how long did it take to make the Culdee Fell special customs? So this is, if you ask the whole special, I think it took about a year and a little bit more. Yes.
I think not, actually. I think it's more than that.
Yeah, I remember like the script was.
So the start of you writing the script to the finishing.
To year 2018, I think about May or June, about a little bit earlier before summertime. So until the day when we release, I think it is nearly a year and a half, I think, for the special. But for the customs, I think Dieter is going to answer that as well.
Yeah. Actually, I have calculated the actual duration that we took from the start or the first draft of the script to the publishing date, and I've written it in the script of the behind the scenes. So stay tuned for that. We'll have an accurate answer in that video. And for customs, we'll also have an accurate answer in the video. But in general, I think I've started the first test model as Eric, and the second model as Culdee. So one of each of those shape, and then I've stopped because we were in preparation of the public exam. So after the exam, I picked it up and then make all of them. So in terms of working time, I think 2 to 3 months, but there was a 2 to 3 or 1 to 2 months gap in between. So that makes it perhaps half a year long or something. Yeah, but we will have an accurate answer prepared already in the behind the scenes video. So stay tuned for that.
Okay. How did you have enough money to buy all those Freddie and Duncans? So we order those trains from a Chinese online shopping platform called Taobao, right? Is it from Taobao?
Yes, Taobao.
And those are actually cheaper than how we find it in the actual stores.
Yes, a lot cheaper. So if you're interested, you can pop in and see what you can find after the virus to play safe.
So I guess that answers this question.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we bought it in a cheaper way, we didn't really earn a lot more. Okay. How did you make your Culdee Fell engines, and are they motorized?
I think another question for me. How did I make it? Accurate
Perhaps
and detailed explanation in behind-the-scenes video.
check
In
out.
short, similar to what I usually do. Cardboard, paint, face, nothing special. And oh yeah, something special. I did buy purple spray paint because I would need a lot of paint anyway, so it's efficient or effective to invest in some of the spray paints. And are they motorized? Yes, they are. But some in the special, a lot of the time in the special, you see fish wire pulling them. And why? Because they can't go uphill, firstly. And secondly, they can't push the coach uphill because when they go around corner, the coach would definitely derail. You can try it at home. They wouldn't work. So basically, most of the time are fishing wire. But when the relief is flat, gentle slope or stuff, sometimes if you look closely, there is no fishing wire, and it's on. They are on their own power.
Okay. So, what inspired you to make the Culdee Fell climb the mountains as part of its anniversary? So, I think that also explains in the behind-the-scenes video. Did we do that part?
Yes, I think so. When we're talking about the script and the idea. Yes,
Yeah.
detailed explanation in the video. But maybe you would like to give a short.
Remember to check.
What was in your mind?
Yeah. So I guess we are not really answering the question, but instead we are promoting our video. Okay.
You can give a short answer now.
If I'm going to answer it briefly, it is actually about the success of the adventure continues as well as the inspiration of mountain railways. Yeah, I think basically these two answers. Okay. Is there any chance we can hear an instrumental version of Culdee, You're the Leader?
Yes, definitely. We have the file. If you want it, we will publish it. Maybe we'll pop it in the DVD. Yeah, another promotion. We are making a DVD, so think about it. It will have some exclusive features, maybe even the behind-the-scenes video that we have been promoting a lot just now. So think about it. We think what items are we thinking of to put into the DVD? Behind the scenes, sing along, now the instrumental version, and
perhaps we'll just leave it next time, or we'll skip the whole thing.
yeah. I think that's it.
Okay.
Enough for the promotion of DVD. Next question.
Will you make a new movie? The answer should be yes.
Yes, definitely. We like making movies.
But for the specific script, everything has not been started yet, so we'll still brainstorm on that.
Yes, but we have an idea, don't we?
Yeah, we have an idea, but
yes.
It's a secret from now on. Okay, so
you can say something about it. It's another The Adventure Begins style stuff because I won't explain, but some hints. Two of the hints: Adventure Begins style stuff, and it's from the Railway series. And following the success of, I think it's quite a success of Culdee Fell, we will alter the story a bit and add in bits so it's fresh and also people will be familiar with the story. Yeah, that's all we're gonna say for now. Not much is decided anyways. So yeah, I think that's it.
Next, are you planning to make more customs in the future? I think the answer should be yes.
Yes, the answer is yes.
The specific
problem is
we haven't decided it yet.
Yes, but I would like to point out none of the new characters gave me or will give me, I suppose, the motivation for me to make them in terms of customs. So I do not have plan on making more because there are loads of characters that with no toys, and I still haven't made them, which I don't plan to do so, especially the foreign engines, the pointless characters. But I will make customs, not necessarily the new one, because if you follow our Twitter, which if you are not following, please follow it now. I've just shared a video of my actual scale kind of Bachman or something Shooting Star Gordon. So that's my latest custom. It's not a new character, but it's something fun. I made a paper shell and pop it onto the Bachman Gordon chassis. So yeah, I definitely am still interested in customs, and I will make more eventually if I'm motivated or if the characters are good enough.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Next question. Will you make a Garratt custom? I guess you mean Quaku in Big World, Big Adventures, right?
Yeah, or a Garratt in general. I think, well, either way it works as a question. Uh, I guess that is for me. And will I make a Garratt custom? Well, more to the point, I did and stopped. Yeah, that reminds me, I still have a half finished Garratt on my drawer, or in my drawer on my shelf. I forgot where I put it anyways. So yeah, I did make the first part, the leading part, with I think a Trapmaster 2012 Henry. Yeah, and I've added the rivets. So, but then I stopped. So it depends whether or not I will finish it. I also found no interest in that character. I thought it looks cool and it's a real life engine that it's based on, but it's not appearing anymore, and I don't think it is appearing again in the near future. So yeah, I basically stopped. So there's an
He's
unfinished
actually not a
Garratt.
really interesting character, I think.
Yeah, just one line or something. But they did make a great render for some reason.
Okay. Next question. Do you plan on meeting other Thomas fans in the future? I am not sure.
Same answer, not sure. We do not have plan to lock ourselves up at home forever, but we also do not have plan to meet other Thomas fans in the future.
Perhaps
That depends.
a really surprise meeting, like if you see us in the store, or if you're guessing that.
They wouldn't recognize us.
I think you will recognize, oh, why is this?
But perhaps when I go to Japan, I would need some guidance from some Japanese fans. Perhaps lead me to a Thomas store or model shop. Who knows? Yeah, but as of for now, no plans.
Yeah, next question. Will you make more content? Of course, yes.
Short answer. Well, explanation. Yes, we will make more content, and we are making more content. The active video editing now, which reminds me, I'm going to return to editing after, finishing this Q&A. Well, is the behind the scenes video, and we are promoting it once again. And so be sure to watch it. But we are also in the process of making some other contents, like the season 2 episodes. A lot of reviews are scheduled on our channel and will get released eventually. I've also made a little I've compiled the references from Thomas and the Row engine, and you will eventually find them. Yeah, on our channel.
You'll
So
see them eventually.
eventually.
So
more contents are coming. Stay tuned.
let's move on.
Definitely.
The behind the scenes content. I think we already answered that.
Yes, Culdee Fell behind the scenes. Go watch it. Next question.
Okay, so the next part is about the show.
Interesting.
Perhaps maybe Dita can do the repeating of the questions here.
Okay, yes, I'll definitely.
Okay, so let's start this part.
Question with the show. Which Thomas and Friends episode did you see first? Good question. I have no idea. I think it's probably Gordon and Edward. That's my distinct impression with no evidence whatsoever. But yeah, I think I've seen it. But it is in Chinese when I was very small. I got the local DVD and watched Thomas in Chinese for years. What about you?
I think mine was Thomas and Gordon because I remembered like seeing the Thomas scene with Thomas himself and then the narrator saying like short stumpy funnel, short stumpy dome. Yeah, I think that is like really the first line I've ever heard. I guess. Okay.
All right, next question. Who is your favorite Thomas character? Aside from Thomas. To clarify, it's actually 2 questions, but is Thomas your favorite character, Thatcher?
Not really.
Yeah, not mine as well. So I think that we can just combine both of them aside Thomas. What's your favorite character? Maybe you should go first.
I actually like Edward a lot more because I think our personalities are like more similar between him. I mean, between me and Edward, and I really like Edward as a character because he's like helpful and kind, and he also has some power to control the younger ones. Yeah. So
Yeah, I
how,
think Edward is one of my favorite. But as you brought up Edward, I think I'll keep it within the Steam team so that it limits the scope. You know, there's a lot of pointless character out there. But apart from Edward, you know, for now, I of course love a lot of characters. But when I was small, I don't know why, but I actually like Gordon a lot. Yes. So a fun fact: when I was small, I had a wardrobe made themed to Gordon with number four, a yellow number four written on the the panels with red lining. But originally, because actually my father thought I like Edward because Edward is a lovable character and lots of people love Edward. So originally that wardrobe is going to be Edward, and but somehow I said no, I want it to be Gordon. So they changed the design from number two to number four, and at last we have a black sticker on the very bottom. That is the shape of Gordon's buffer instead of originally a circle as Edward's buffer. So that's a little fun fact. So from the Steam team, I used to love Gordon a lot. Well, I still do, but yeah, a little fun fact.
okay. Next.
What are your thoughts on Thomas and the Magic Railroad? Well, I like it. Funny enough, I've watched it. Actually, there's two situations. When I was very small, I watched Thomas and the Magic Railroad because my mom put it on the player, and of course I would watch it. It's Thomas. But eventually, well, a lot of kids actually got bored with the real life characters and skipped it. Well, I didn't. But when did I stop? Is when Diesel 10 started to destroy the shed, and I would just start crying, and my mom just would have to stop it. And the DVD, was on my shelf for years until I finally rediscovered it and finally watched the whole thing for good. And I like it. I know it's different. It's some of you hated it. It's different. It's not really the Thomas we know, but I think although the explanation of the Magic Railroad is fake and not very convincing or complicated, but I like the movie in general. Yeah, really.
Well, as for me, I think I'm okay with the movie, but I'm not really. I mean, I do not really like the storyline a lot because it seems a little bit too magical with the magic buffers as well as a magic railroad, and that is a bit complicated to me. But as for mainly, I like the chase scene a lot. It's still classical, and I still find it really exciting, even though it was like already 20 years ago already.
There's no match for the Marvellous Machinery chase scene.
Maybe we'll talk about that.
Yeah, I hated Marvellous Machinery a lot. Okay, next question. What is your favorite Thomas and Friends movie?
Wow. So Lost Legend of Lost Treasure, I think.
Yes, I would say that. But as it is the most loved Thomas and Friends movie, let's say aside from that, what is your favorite?
Maybe Blue Mountain Mystery, I guess. Yeah, I think I like that one as well.
Yeah. Mine wouldn't be Blue Mountain Mystery. I'm thinking more along the lines of The Great Discovery for some reason. I've actually watched continuously, consecutively on consecutive days when I was small and when The Great Discovery first came out for around a week. So I guess that shows how much I loved it. Yeah, and I think Journey Beyond Soda is a good movie as well, despite the bouncing. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And Thomas and the Magic Railroad as well. I said I love it. So, but that's I think aside from all of the Thomas movies, it's quite a separate thing. It's its own thing. So, yeah.
Next.
What is your favorite season or episode? Well, and episode. This question we've got a lot of questions like this. So
Yeah.
yeah, apart from Bill and Ben Productions, I've written and more because there's too many to cite from. Yeah, but not only for this Q&A, but for in a lot of occasions, and it's a very hard question. I do not want to answer that. Maybe Thatcher, you should go first.
If you ask me, I really love season 5 a lot because the storylines they are more exciting and they give me more. I mean, if you can feel the tension between the characters, and I like the models as well. But if you ask me the episode, if I have to pick one from season 5, I think I really like. I really like a lot of them. Maybe like Toby and the Flood, or maybe A Better View for Gordon. Yeah, because I remember those episodes, even though they looked a little bit more scarier and darker, but they're actually a lot more exciting to me. How about you?
I know I've answered this question before, and the answer has been changing continuously because I haven't actually thought it through. But season 5 is definitely a good season of the classic series in general. But because I was really small when it came out, and I watched it firstly in Chinese, and that it felt a bit distant. But if you talk about the favorite season, the first that comes into mind is actually season 20. I was genuinely excited to watch every episode after school. And yeah, I would say that because it gives me the excitement, despite the classic series is extremely exciting as well. So for the episode, I will also choose from season 20. A lot of them are, to be honest, not extremely good, but the season in general is good. So I'm choosing it right now. The small railway, the three episodes of the small railway. I think those are good episodes, but that is from the railway series, so it's kind of cheating. I think the Christmas coffee pot and Over the Hill. That's great because it addresses Glenn, and I was genuinely excited for them to rediscover Glenn again. Yeah, I'll leave it like that. Those two Christmas episodes, the two parties.
Okay.
What is your opinion on the hit seasons of the show?
Not really good, but not too bad, I guess. I mean, it didn't really interest me, but I think it wasn't really that bad that I would quit it in the middle.
Yeah. Wait a second. Is season 13 to 16 still the hit seasons, or is it considered as a CGI era? But it's still hit, isn't it? Until Mikhail came along.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's bad. It's boring. But I'll put it this way: it obeys the law that the Thomas universe defines. So yeah, it's the opposite of what we are experiencing now. It's exciting with quotations because they think it's exciting to kids. I don't think so. It's flashy and stuff, but it does not obey the law the Thomas universe should have. So it's basically the exact opposite from what we have now, the hit season. So yeah, that's my opinion.
So let's move on. Okay.
Would you rather watch the whole of season 13 to 16 or the Big World, Big Adventure era?
Perhaps maybe I can answer that first.
Yes, you should.
Well, if you ask me, I made my way through the entire season 13 to 16. But if you ask me for Big World, Big Adventures, I actually watched all of the episodes, but I am not interested in it after all. I mean, I would not watch it again, especially those international episodes. Okay, I mean, like those in India, in Italy, and in Brazil as well. So if you ask me, I would prefer watching the Sharon Miller era. How about you?
Same answer from me. The Big World Big Adventure is, I don't know, some of the episodes are good, but some is bad. So there's a discrepancy. But when you put me in front of the TV and force me to watch the whole of season 13, 16, I know what I'm expecting. The wonky whistle, Thomas and the crowd, or Thomas toots
Thomas
the
Tuesday,
crowd.
I remember.
Yeah, stuff like that. I know exactly what I'm going to see. Background, first incident, second incident, big incident, resolution. Basically that. So I actually would rather watch season 13 to 16.
Yeah, just because if you ask me, Big World, Big Adventures, those episodes, they seem really off. I mean, it doesn't feel like Thomas to me because you just only put Thomas for there. I don't get the purpose of it.
Oh yeah, one point to add. If you're talking about the Big World, Big Adventure era of the episodes on Sodor, I would rather watch that. But because apart from Sodor, there's a lot of episodes on other countries which feels bland and out of place. So I would rather watch season 13 to 16. If it's only the Sodor episode, I would rather watch that. Okay, next question. Thoughts on season 24 so far? Like the rest of this other seasons, some episodes are really good. Some episodes are, dare I say, really bad. And some good episodes is like what's that called? The Emily's number. Emily the Rescue?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, I like that a lot. I still find that Emily having a number is out of place. And it doesn't really make sense, but I'm just very happy they addressed it. And it's not a bad episode.
Yeah, they also...
Season 24 also includes Thomas and the Royal Engine, right? It's still inside the season, although it's a special. Yeah, and that is enjoyable, really enjoyable. But it also bears the dreary two-parter Marvellous Machinery, and that is really bad. So yeah, the discrepancy is really large.
Well, as for me, I really like Emily to the Rescue because once I remembered looking at the new coloring sheets of Emily, and I wondered why did she gain a number, and at least they explained it in the episode, so I guess that is fine for me. And Thomas and the Royal Engine is actually nice with references, and it doesn't really feel that boring, except I felt like the pace was a little bit quick. I wished I could see more of the story, if you ask me. I think 20 minutes is definitely not enough for Thomas and the Royal Engine. And I remembered we also saw some more 24 season episodes. It is the Thomas and the Inventors Workshop and James the Super Engine. And I'm not really that impressed. I mean, it feels normal to me. I don't think that it is that excellent to me, those two episodes. Especially when in the Inventor's Workshop where Ruth has to like repair the whole windmill, and I don't know, everything just became a lot more science and technology to me. So I guess.
Yes. Next question. Are you happy with Thomas and the Royal Engine? Well, yes, I am. Very happy. I know it's, yeah, as Thatcher just said, some of the episodes, including this, will benefit from a longer runtime. But yeah, I think I am happy with Thomas and the Royal Engine, and it is enjoyable, extremely rewatchable. Actually, I've rewatched it twice, and yeah, I'm happy. Although the reference is a bit too much, I think, but it is the 75th anniversary special episode, so yeah, a lot of references expected.
Yeah,
the storyline is good. It's not very exciting, but that's what Thomas should be. It's not a flashy show. It's like flying around like planes or crashing around like cars. I think it's not really exciting, but it is charming and enjoyable.
Yeah, if you ask me, the benefits of having some references, it reminds me that I'm watching a Thomas episode, and that is really important because a lot of those episodes, they seem really off and they do not feel Thomas at all. So I'm actually quite glad about how it turned out. Well, but if you ask me, I hope I could see what happens when Thomas returns back to Sodor after getting the prize with the second chore. Yeah. So so maybe let's move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you like Marvellous Machinery? No. It's out of place. It has a giant robot. How can I like it in the Thomas episode? Yeah, really short answer. No, I hate it.
If you ask me if I am actually watching this episode in the 30th century, then perhaps I think I would like it. But now it's still the 21st century, okay? So, I mean, the concept is new, it's fresh, because it is about science and technology, and they are supposed to be ridiculous, and they are supposed to be new and unfamiliar. But I think the theme included in Thomas doesn't really suit that well, because Thomas, I mean, if you have a look at the timeline, I think it's not supposed to be happening in this time. I mean, if you're looking at the modern times, that may seem a little bit better, but still not really that good. But it is an interesting to include this theme. So if you ask me, my general opinion is a nice attempt, but sorry.
That's a good conclusion. Next question. Which one do you prefer, Marvellous Machinery or Misty Island? Misty Island Rescue, I presume. I think that's what it's called. Misty Island Rescue. It does not feel out of place. It felt silly and crazy, but it kind of has an explanation. And the fact that it's away from Sodor, it kind of gives us an explanation of why things are so crazy instead of what we used to see, because it's not Sodor, it's somewhere else. So it could be the case that it's always so crazy, but now there's a giant robot running around with Sir Topham Hatt controlling it on Sodor. It feels out of place. Well, definitely, Misty Island Rescue is silly, but yeah, I hated it. But now I hate Marvellous Machinery even more because it felt out of place with no explanation, and it just felt cheap. Also, not to mention the animation. Misty Island Rescue is definitely better.
So I think I also prefer Misty Island Rescue because I remember. I mean, I recall the memories of watching Misty Island. I do not feel weird, and it seemed ridiculous in a sensible way. But for Marvelous Machinery, I mean, those inventions, they're just new, and you just do not really get what is happening with. I mean, with all those science and new theories involved. But if you ask me, Misty Island Rescue, it gave me a mysterious feel, so I expected things to be weird. Do you get what I mean?
Yes, I do. Next question.
Okay.
When do you think the TV show is going to end? Well, this is actually the last question for the section, the show section. It's actually the last question we'll answer today. And it's to end today's Q&A section, we are going to discuss when do we think the TV show is going to end. Well, I originally don't think it will ever end because Thomas is a great brand and people love it. But I think it might have a pause with all the rumors going on. Whether or not it's just a rumor, I think eventually we'll have to pause and stop and think again what the franchise means to itself. So I don't think it will end. Maybe it will change its format, even it in the wrong direction. Like someone suggested, maybe they'll stop the show and change it into the Thomas alphabet learning show that shows on the TV. I don't know, but I don't think it will ever end because Thomas is a great franchise. So no matter what shape it takes, it won't actually end. Yeah, I think that's it. But if you're talking about when the TV show as it is ends, well, I genuinely have no idea. Perhaps it's now, perhaps it's after season 24, or perhaps it will go on. Yeah, but I think that's basically explains it. What about you, Thatcher?
Yeah, I think the show going to an end may not be that possible at this moment. I guess it will just change into another format. But I do think if you ask me, it would be really sad to see the show that is going to end because this franchise has already been a long-living franchise with more than. If you ask me, the television series is already I think 35 years, I think. But as for if you say the whole franchise, including the Railway series, then it is already 75 years. I think it would be really upset that such a good and long-living franchise coming to an end. So that is a bit sad to me. So I hope that there will be more after the season 24, but I guess they really need some time, maybe just to rethink and maybe rearrange a lot of things to make the show better.
Okay, so that's it for today's video. We have answered 35 questions and basically half of it, and we will continue next week at the same time, so stay tuned. And that's it for the part 1 of our 75 questions, 75 anniversary Q&A of 75 questions and 75 answers. And we will see you again next week.